Hey all, so today we are going to be talking about postpartum, everything postpartum, essentials, my tips, kind of just all the ins and outs, my experience. I'm going to talk more about my experience at the end, like my body changes, just all my tips and how I kind of went through recovery, but also I guess each category that I'm going to talk about is going to have a little bit of my experience in there and my tips. So I hope this is helpful to some people. I really was not wanting to make this video because I felt like it was such a saturated topic on YouTube, but everyone's experience is so different. If I've learned anything from being pregnant to having a baby to being a mom, your journey to motherhood is like unlike no other, and everyone experiences it differently. So this is my experience, my tips, tricks, like I said, all of that. And so if you are becoming a mom or you're pregnant in that stage, all that, thinking about postpartum can be really scary. And I think I was so scared of postpartum. Like that was probably the thing that I was most nervous about. And so I just wanted to talk about it and let you know that not everyone's experience is scary. I mean, it is. It's like, it is, I don't want to say it's scary, but it is an experience. If you've gone through it, you know postpartum, having a baby is no joke. It's an experience. So the first thing that I want to talk about, I have notes because I am very disorganized in my head, and now that I have a baby, like way more disorganized, so we have notes today. And I'm gonna be first talking about my essentials. So first things first, your hospital, you can call and ask what they give you there. So check with your hospital and make sure. I think it's different in a lot of places, but most of the time they have what you need. So they give you pads, they give you a peri bottle, they give you pretty much everything you need. So for me, my essentials, the first thing I want to talk about is a peri bottle. First of all, someone asked a question like, do you really have to use a peri bottle? Girl, you want to use a peri bottle. You do not want to be messing with it down there. You need a peri bottle. But this is my personal opinion. You do not need the Frida peri bottle at all. Like that is a $12 purchase that can be used towards diapers or something cute and fun for your baby. I didn't mind the one they gave me at the hospital. I did use the Frida one because I bought it and I'm like, I can't believe I bought this. I have to use it, but you can go without it. Also, I would say get Discreet Diapers. It is so much better than putting on a pad that they give you at the hospital, and the ones they give you are massive. I did like the underwear, the mesh underwear. I would wear the Discreet Diapers, and then I wore the mesh underwear that they gave me over it. So it just felt really secure because whew, it is a lot happening. And then also you're gonna want the Tux pads, but here's my tip for you. If you go to like where you would buy the Tux pads at like Target, that's where I got mine, there is like the knockoff, they're like wipies. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you shouldn't use those, if you're a nurse or you know something about this, let me know, but they are labeled the same as like hemorrhoid pads, I think, but they are wipies. So they're literally $2 instead of like $6 for like 50 Tux pads. And you change your Tux pad every single time you go to the bathroom, at least I did. So anyway, they're like $2 or $3 or something. They're very cheap. They're like the Target brand. They're like a wipey container where they open up and they pull out, and I used those when I was coming to the end of my postpartum journey, where I used those a lot. And I ran out of the ones the hospital gave me, which ask for extras for everything at the hospital except pads. Maybe if you can go out and buy the diapers, go out and buy yourself some Discreets because you'll want them. You and your baby will bond over diaper wearing. The ice packs. So Frida does come out, they do have like an 8-pack for $20, which is fine and great and dandy. My mom actually got them for me because I said, check and see if they have ice packs or something, but my nurse let me know. She said you can just use reusable like ice for boo-boos, you know, like the ice packs, and get a few of those, wash them off when you're done because you'll probably put your Tux pads over them, so you're not getting like, I mean, they probably will get blood and stuff on them, but reusable ones, that's what I'll be doing next time because I am not spending $20 on some like ice pads, but because they literally give you relief and work for like, I think 10 minutes or something. I can't remember how cold they are for that long. Actually, maybe it's like an hour. I can't remember, but anyway, that's my tip. Get reusable boo-boo ice packs. Okay, so once you come to the end of your like bleeding, you don't want to be wearing diapers. I mean, I was at the point, I can't remember when I stopped bleeding. I think it was, I didn't stop completely until like after 6 weeks. I was still spotting, so I always would wear like a little liner, or I would wear my icky underwear. Another tip, get underwear that you don't mind getting dirty. So black underwear, dark underwear. I got some at H&M in the sale section, just wherever you can get cheap underwear, Amazon, I don't know. Get cheap underwear that's comfy, that you don't care about getting dirty. Or maybe your old middle school underwear, because I still have middle school underwear that I really need to get rid of, so use your icky underwear for that. But if you don't want to do that, get liners, very light liners, which I did anyway because it was kind of a lot for a while. So you'll have the point at the beginning where it's like intense, like a lot of blood, you got some clots sometimes, things happen. But then you get to a point where it like tapers off a lot, and that's when you can use just light liners. So what you're gonna need is Dermaplast. You can use any kind of perineal spray, but Dermaplast numbs it and it feels so good. And it's like not the most like natural, but that's what they gave me at the hospital. That's what I used. I'm so cheap. I will not spend more than I have to. So see if the hospital gives it to you. If not, you can get Dermaplast. Also, I'll have my Amazon storefront with like all of my essentials linked on there and things that I really liked. So anyway, that's a great thing to have. So my other tip is something that I was struggling with once my milk came in, was I always slept in like a big t-shirt and underwear. That's all I would sleep in. But then you're like needing something to help the milk not just go everywhere. So instead of wearing a bra, because I hate wearing bras to sleep, like even like the nursing bras that are comfy, which I got mine at Walmart, very cheap, 2-pack for $15. I have like both the kinds. I will link them down below because they are cheap and they are my favorite and comfy. But I didn't want to wear a bra to bed, so I would wear like those crop top tank tops that used to be in style, you know, and I still had a few of them, or just any sort of like tank top that was tight enough but not like cutting you off underneath, which also can lead to mastitis if you wear like a bra to sleep. So anyway, like a cropped sort of tank top that you can wear the pads, the nursing pads. Get the reusable ones because they're very absorbent and you can stick them onto your tank top and wear them so they don't go all over the place. That was one thing that I learned very quickly, because when your milk comes in, it's intense. Me too, my next essential that's kind of towards breastfeeding is a haka. So hakas seemed very confusing. I had to learn it in the middle of the night when my milk came in and I was like, huge. You'll know when your milk comes in, it's intense. But pretty much what you do, or what I did, is use the haka. I should show you how to use it, but I think there's like a tutorial or like how you use it on the like instructions that comes with. But pretty much put it on the other boob that you're not feeding on. So the haka is not going to get every single trickle of milk out, but newborns sometimes don't eat as much. So when my milk came in, he really only ate on one side and he'd be done. And then wow, that spooked me. That door just opened. I had a heart attack. But anyway, so you really only want to feed him on one side depending on your baby. But after I took the haka off, if he still was like awake and feeding, I would feed him on the other side, because the haka doesn't get every single trickle of milk out. Your baby's a lot more efficient than the haka is, so you'll still have milk in there. But anyway, give you a couple ounces. That first day I had like a whole bag of milk ready to go, which another thing. So if you are just exclusively breastfeeding, you're not planning, or if you want to use bottles, then you will use the haka and the pump that you get a lot. But for me, I have not given him a bottle. He's 3.5 months old, and that's just because I'm with him all day. I like breastfeeding. It's comforting for him and for me, and I like that he only needs me for that. And it's just like a good feeling. But if circumstances were different and I had to bottle feed, then the haka is great for starting your supply up without having to pump all the time. I don't know much about pumping. This is not going to be a pumping video. You need to find a different resource. But the only, oh, I hear my baby. Okay. I do use the pump now at night. He sleeps through the night, or he had been. I think he's starting his regression because he was sleeping through the night, so I would wake up at like 4 a.m. and have to pump. So if you're exclusively breastfeeding, you still might want to use the pump unless you want to hand express at night, which just takes more time. I have, but you can get them for free through insurance typically. I use like, I'll link that site that I used to get my breast pump below. My nurse told me about it. She was also a lactation consultant. So that is what I have to say about breastfeeding. I'm gonna go grab him and see if we can finish this video with him here. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, this is Wilson, my 3.5-month-old. So he's a sweetie pie and I love him. But I kind of got sidetracked because he woke up. So let's talk about healing. This part may be TMI for people, but if you are about to have a baby or if you've had one, it's not TMI, it's the truth. So pretty much healing. Let's talk about my experience and kind of how it went. So I had a 2nd-degree tear. It was a labia tear and then an inside tear. I don't really know exactly, but 2nd degree. I asked my doctor like how bad it was, whatever, and he kind of was just like pretty average. My nurse on the other hand was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen a tear this bad in a long time, which then I was like, great, awesome. But my doctor did say that Wilson was like fighting coming out, like he was not coming out, and that's why I tore so bad. Also he told me like to stop pushing, and I was like, I'm not stopping pushing because I could feel it all. It was like intense, and like no, I feel his head ripping. I have to get him out, or not his head ripping, but you know. So anyway, that was kind of my experience of tearing. So for healing process, the first day is like, how will I ever walk again? How will I not walk, but kind of like, how will I move again? Because I just remember, this is also like talking about like ending anxiety I've had. The only time I really had some anxiety about it was trying to take care of him when I was still healing. Like that was the hardest part, like getting up to move to grab him out of like the little bassinet he was in at the hospital was so hard and difficult. But he slept literally the first like 48 hours of his life. So when we were in the hospital, he like wasn't even awake. I mean, I had to like grab him to feed him, but anyway, besides the point, I'm gonna do a whole baby video later, but this is just like for the mamas here. But I promise you the next day is so much better. And it was sore, it was hard, but like my nurse, she told me as much as you can get up and move to an extent, your body's gonna heal quicker, it's gonna be better for you. So I moved around quite a bit my first week, and I would be sore at the end of the day, but it wasn't like it's a different type of pain. And also you have the dermaplast, you have all like the numbing things, so it's like very sore, like you feel like you're wearing a pad when you're not wearing anything. Like it's just very sore in that way, and a lot of throbbing. For me, that was how it kind of felt. So anyway, all the things that you use for postpartum really do help with that. But also I was taking Oxy, so that helped a lot, and after the first week I stopped taking it. So they'll give you some sort of thing to take. Miralax, you're gonna want to get Miralax or stool softener, which I think they will give you stool softener because it is a little bit sore and torn up down there. So going number 2 can be a little bit intimidating. I was so nervous the first time, but they gave me Miralax, they gave me stool softener, and it was fine. So don't be that nervous. It actually doesn't hurt that bad, even though for me and some people I've talked to, it's like your booty hurts so bad that you think it's not like so bad, it's just like you feel like a lot of stuff in that area, like you're just assuming it's gonna hurt, but sometimes it does, I guess. But for me it didn't, so don't be as nervous even if you are sore down there. I had never smelled so bad in my life. These are just like the healing process and like kind of postpartum symptoms or whatever. Every single day I would wake up, feel disgusting because I'm just bleeding all night. I have spit up on me, and then postpartum sweats. People don't really talk about that. That's something I didn't really expect. You sweat a little bit. Maybe not everyone, but like you get this certain, you just smell not good. It's not like a normal like you worked out smell. It's like you just smell like sweaty and gross because you're sweating. So that was shocking to me. So now I shower every morning, and honestly it's like my time to like refresh, get my day going, and it's great. But especially when you're bleeding and sweaty and spit up. So that is another fun thing. Adding this in here, but I forgot to talk about another part of healing, which is 6-week checkup. That, make sure you get checked. I didn't get checked by my doctor, and I still feel like I should have gotten checked because I'm having like interesting discharge, which I don't know if it's normal. I tried to Google it, and I'm not sure, and it just is different. Like it seems different down there, like discharge wise. TMI, I don't know. And then also I want to talk about you and your husband getting back into things, if you know what I'm saying. We're PG around here, kind of, but yeah, that is very hard. It is not fun. It's a little bit painful, and it's a hard part of your relationship that you want to get back into, but it hurts, and it still hurts, and we're 3.5 months postpartum. Don't put pressure on yourself at 6 weeks. 6 weeks, when I got cleared, I did not feel good when we tried, and so we stopped, reevaluated, and tried again, and it just takes time. But I did talk to him, like, it hurts, but you can push through a little bit if that's giving you any sort of suggestion on what to do if you're just like, it's not gonna work. Because the first time I was like, literally not gonna happen. Like, I will be ripped again. Gosh, this is like a very TMI video. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you feel like a little up for it, try pushing, try going a little bit more. Okay, I'm just gonna end that here. That's my little tip. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. Message me on Instagram if you want tips on that, because I'm still working through it and I would love to talk to people about that, because yeah, my friend Kylene also talked about it and it was so helpful that she did. So that's why I'm doing it. TMI for family, I'm sorry. But that's how you make this. So anyway, so what? People also asked about anxiety and all that, postpartum depression. I haven't experienced any of that, thankfully. I think that something was up with my cycle, my period, PMS, because when I got pregnant, everything that I dealt with went away. I was happy, obviously, because I was pregnant, but I think there was something a little hormonal to it. So now I'm just like praying my period does not come back anytime soon. Breastfeeding, usually not all the time. Your period won't come back for a while. Some people it does, some people it comes back and then it doesn't come back for a long time. Anyway, so for me, it hasn't come back. So that's great. But the only time I had anxiety was when it was our first night home. The nurses weren't there coming in and checking. I like had this little tiny human. I could barely move. My husband couldn't really do much about it. Like, he couldn't help because I'm the one that has to feed him. And yeah, so that was a really big night and very stressful for me. But when I went to bed and woke up in the morning, I mean, we prayed so hard that night that I would just have no anxiety, no, I don't know, I would just have peace. I mean, I was emotional, like crying, which I hadn't been that emotional in so long. So anyway, it all turned out fine. And after that first night, I was like, okay, God, I got it. I'm good. I know that you are way above my plans, way above what I can do. And I just gave that worry to him. And I didn't have anxiety about it anymore, which was really great. But also just like that first night is scary. So that was the only time I was super anxious. Obviously, there's been times like still when like he's sleeping for a long time, I get nervous, but not like that anxiety feeling that I used to get before I was pregnant. Kind of coming to the part talking about more of my experience in questions that people wanted to know about my body changes. I got a lot of questions about the transition and all that. So if you just wanted to know like the essentials and kind of the random, like the overall postpartum stuff, that is kind of the end to that. But now this is like my personal, I guess it was all my personal experience, but this is now like things that have been going on for me, my body, how it's changed and all that. So the hardest part about postpartum has been my back pain. I have like really bad shoulder pain and like the lower back, it just aches, and I'm kind of used to it now. I remember when I first started nannying, I was watching 3 babies. They were set of twins, 3 months, and 1 baby was 4 months. Or were they 4 months and 5 months? Something like that. They were very young, his age, and that pain like is the same as I had. So it's just like reworking those muscles. Like holding a baby is very different than a workout you can do like when you're trying to do other things around the house holding a baby. So back pain has been the hardest. I haven't had a lot of hair loss. That was another question. I mean, I have pretty thick hair. I'm trying to look. I haven't noticed any extreme change in my hair loss. Maybe like a little bit more than average, but there's nothing I did for that. That's just my experience with it. I've had some, not a lot though. So body changes. So this, I'm gonna post pictures because I did take pictures every single day postpartum until I felt like my uterus pretty much had. So this is my body after. So this is my belly. I feel like you can tell there's like a little bit of the line still. Also my tummy is so tan because it was like in the summer, so I was getting sun on my belly and then it shrunk and it got really dark. But yeah, so this is my belly right now. I don't know what else to say about it. The line looks way more prominent, I feel like, on camera than in person. I'm just a little bit bigger right here. But yeah, I took pictures from the very first day and then every single day after that. So I feel like I'm probably gonna post the pictures, but every single day it went down so much. It was crazy. I'm glad I took pictures of it. I didn't really think I was gonna share them, but I would say, so I fit into all my old jeans, all my old clothes. I tried. By 2 weeks postpartum, I feel like I looked at myself and I was like, oh, I look like fine. a little bit wider. I don't think I took a lot of pictures from the front, but I tried my jeans on because I thought they fit. They did not fit 2 weeks postpartum, obviously. There's no pressure for them to fit, but I just assumed that they would. But at that point, I also have people asking, how did that, in my mind, like, how was that? What I do with my clothes that didn't fit all this? So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I'll just set them aside for like another 2 weeks or a month or whatever, and then I'm just gonna get rid of them because I really don't care what my body looks like anymore. I don't care if I don't fit into my jeans. I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself. So that was my mindset when I got to the point of wearing my old clothes or trying to wear them. But I held on to them, thankfully, because it took years to find all my jeans that fit me and that I loved, and they fit again. And I also had questions about working out and all that. So I have not put any pressure onto myself to work out, to eat healthy. I am breastfeeding exclusively, so that apparently it helps with weight loss or baby weight loss, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how much I weigh. I think at 6 weeks postpartum, I was a little over 10 pounds over my weight, but then I fit into my old jeans. So, but I can tell that I've lost weight since then. So I don't know what I weigh now. But I didn't do anything extra. Also, stretch marks. So I did not get any stretch marks. That is probably genetic. My mom didn't get any stretch marks. Oh yes, I did get stretch marks. I got them on my leg. They're like white stretch marks. I didn't get any on my belly. So I did use bio oil, and I used the Burt's Bees Mama Belly Butter, and I used like Palmer's, and I did do that every time after I showered. I would put that on. So asked about the transition to be a mom, like how that went for me. So the transition, I feel like, has gone pretty naturally. And it has been everything I dreamed of. It's been better. I was a nanny full-time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. with babies his age. So I was in that routine of eat, wake, sleep, all of that, feeding someone, like the whole taking care of baby thing, and I did it with 3. So this is honestly, the day-to-day is easier in an aspect, in some sense. The nighttime obviously is not, and not having that evening or like the morning to fully focus on myself, do my own thing. But I am getting better, getting into a routine of making sure I make time for myself, for my husband, for our marriage. And you don't really notice it as much when you're, you know, spending time with your husband and your baby. But then you get to a point, like at least for us, I will just speak on our experience. Like, we were spending a lot of time together. Not really, he went right back to work pretty much. That we didn't really intentionally make time for ourselves, and you don't notice it. And then we started bickering, and we're like, okay, what's going on? Let's figure it out. So it's gotten a lot better. And especially when we didn't have, you know, our alone time, if you know what I mean, like all the time anymore. It was like hard to get back into that and all that. So that was a big part of it too. Even though like that was a very new thing to our relationship when we got married. That became a new, if you're following what I'm saying, that was a new thing in our relationship. And so it is a big part of your relationship, but that is why God created it, because it is a part of your relationship and it is a bonding experience. And when you don't get to do it, your relationship kind of is sketchy. So sketchy, is that the right word? Anyway, that part is interesting. So I feel like that kind of is everything, trying to answer the questions that y'all wanted to know about my experience, and then kind of also helpful tips and needs for other people. So I am going to make one for like just babies, like sleeping and all that stuff that has to do with taking care of a baby, and him specifically, because people are asking me questions about that, like his schedule, his sleep, like all of that. So I will be doing a video on that. But anyway, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. Wilson is just stretching away. Can you show them your big stretches? Oh, the big stretchies. Hey, baby. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you have any other questions that I didn't answer, I would love to answer them in the comments. So leave them below, and we will see y'all in the next one. Bye.